Hello, this is S.K. Williams with the second of 3 planned Bible update videos, though in many ways this is the first of 2, not the second of 3. This is because my decisions regarding the Bible and how I read it on my channel have drastically changed in the last 2 days. So much so that the previous part 2 that I had worked on and actually had completed, and the script for part 3, are now scrapped. And because everything I told you in the first update no longer applies. I had thought about deleting the first update, but I've decided to leave it up for historical purposes. Well, channel history anyway. But the simple truth of the matter is this. I am going to be able to read a Bible. Perhaps 2, so long as I choose a dominant Bible to favor. By which I mean, if I, for some reason, don't have time to do both, I can just do one. And that one would be the one I keep on schedule, and the other one would be secondary. My original plan was to read 3 Bibles from 3 great traditions: Orthodoxy, Judaism, and Catholicism. And the 3 Bibles chosen would reflect not only the theological differences, but translational strain, with the Orthodox using the Septuagint, the Jews using the Masoretic text, and Catholics using the Latin Vulgate. But I can't read 4 Bibles. I can't read 3 at once. I know I can't read 2 at once, and I have to choose one as a dominant Bible if I did. My original plan was to begin with the Classic Orthodox Bible, and from time to time also do the Jewish Bible, although with the Jewish Bible, if I didn't have time to do it, I could simply set it aside until the Classic one was over, and the only question is, would I read the Orthodox Bible until the end of the Old Testament, and then go to the Jewish Bible, or would I read the entire Classical Orthodox Bible, and then after that go to the Jewish Bible? But that's very minor in terms of decision making. What I have to look at now is, will the FCC or YouTube's new policy determine my video as for children? And if I don't report it as for children, will I be fined $42,000 per incident? What if I load 100 Bible videos, one reflecting each one being a chapter of the Bible, and they decide they're children's videos and I didn't list them as such appropriately, and I get fined? I don't have over $400,000 to give the FCC. I've already decided not to host new animation on my YouTube channel until I get clarity on exactly what the rules will be and exactly what COPPA compliance means. I'm not ruling out the possibility of returning animation in the future, but I am not going to be doing new animation for YouTube. That's not to say I am not going to do any new animation at all. I'm just going to host it on BitChute, which is a British website. Say what you will about it being a haven for hate and its right-wing and Nazi reputation, I can post animation there without worrying about being fined. The same is true of Daily Motion, which will probably also get my Bible videos. But those channels will still be affected by this decision because, again, I only have so many hours in the day, I have other projects to do, I have to work to make a living, I have to go to school, and I have other things happening, so I've decided to whittle it down to 1 Bible, and it won't be any of the 3 that I have told you about. In fact, it won't be any Bible at all, at least not in the conventional sense. When I realized I was going to have to move the Bishop's Bible to Amazon because no one was really interested in it on YouTube, I toyed with the idea of doing the Medley Bible, and I actually did do an experimental part of the Medley Bible online. There's actually 2 Medley Bibles, though, and each of them are conceptual, not real. The first Medley Bible would be Each chapter of the Bible has a different Bible translation being used to read it. And the second one, each book of the Bible has a different translation, but it is consistent. Well, you could make either one of them the first and either one the second. It doesn't really matter. The point is, that's the direction I was taking it. The benefit of the Medley Bible is that it could serve as a sample for audio Bibles that I did for Amazon, and I could either use the audio I created for the Medley Bible and just record the parts of any given Bible that weren't part of the Medley Bible, or re-record them and say that this was a sort of early prototype. But the point is this: for instance, I could read a chapter of the Wycliffe Bible, but do the whole Wycliffe Bible on Amazon, or perhaps even a whole book. Maybe I can give you the whole, say, book of Genesis from the Wycliffe Bible, but host the whole Wycliffe Bible on Amazon. In the end, I abandoned this idea. I thought having a complete translation was best. The only exception to that would be if I did Protestant Bibles with no Apocrypha, I would add the Apocrypha, and if I did Jewish Bibles, I would add the Apocrypha and a New Testament, although I would be very clear that they're not part of the original translation, simply to make them uniform. But while I haven't worked out the details now, I have decided that this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to revive the concept of the Medley Bible, and it will be on all 3 channels. As with before, I am going to stick to the no animation policy for YouTube. I will not set the Bible readings to animation, and I will not overlay them to existing animation. I won't even use still images of cartoon characters for the videos of the Bible I present for Amazon. That's not to say I won't be doing animated Bible readings. I will. And in fact, they will be the same audio. But the animated portions will only be available off of YouTube. On BitChute, most notably. I have decided they are going up on BitChute. They may also go up on Daily Motion, and perhaps Minds. I'm not sure. I don't know where Minds is coming from. But not YouTube. YouTube will not possess the animated portion. It will have still images, or it will have slideshow or something along those lines, rather than having animation. Not even cute, whimsical cartoon characters in still will be presented for the YouTube version, so it's more like a podcast, doing the very thing I found boring and didn't want to subject others to. Static imagery. But it is for my protection. I can't pay $4,200 per incident. And YouTube may decide that the Bible itself is for children. And don't get me wrong, I'm not one of these people who think that children should be protected from the Bible. It's evil. Look how violent and awful it is. Ooh, I've always hated atheists making that argument. Children should be exposed to the Bible if for no other reason than it being our culture. And I actually say that about all the world's great religious texts. I have no problem with children listening to the Book of Mormon. I have no problem with children listening to the Quran. But just because I don't have a problem with children listening to the Bible, or listening to the Quran, or listening to the Book of Mormon, doesn't mean videos where these things are read are explicitly intended for a child audience. As of January, with the exception of the videos I've already loaded, because I do have some scheduled, and perhaps a couple more, because I don't want my last animated video on YouTube to be stock animation. No new animation will be uploaded to my channel, including for the Bible. And because I don't want to spend a lot of time on a project that can be deleted. If YouTube decides my content is for children and I didn't list it as such and decides to penalize me by deleting my channel, I don't want to put so much work into it only to have it lost. And I know that it wouldn't technically be lost because it will be on other sites, but still, I'm going to go back to reading the Medley Bible. In a few days, I'll explain what the Medley Bible plan is. I'm hoping to have it thought of before the 1st of December, which is when I planned on beginning to read it. I may even have a video going up Friday explaining it, but no guarantees. This is a bit last minute. But this is the new plan. I am not going to read the Classic Orthodox Bible, I am not going to read a Jewish Bible, and I am not going to read the Catholic Bible. At least for now. At least for YouTube. In the future, I may come back and read the Classic Orthodox Bible, the Jewish Bible, and the Catholic Public Domain Bible for BitChute, but for now, it'll be the Medley Bible, because if my channel is terminated, well, I didn't do it for nothing. Not only will it be on other channels, and possibly in a superior video format, but I didn't try too hard to do 3 or 4 Bibles. I'm sorry I have to do this 180 on you so soon after announcing the other, but I just don't know how COPA will be implemented. And I don't have time to do what I normally do and research it. So for my own safety, I have taken this precaution. I hope you can understand all of this, and I hope it's not too disappointing to the few people I have listening, but the situation is as it is, and I need clarity. And the real kicker is this. Let's suppose I'm being overly cautious, or it is not altogether justified, although at this point it is justified from my perspective at least. Let's say that the static videos that I do aren't deemed for children, either the Bible readings or anything else on my channel, or perhaps some animation is in fact allowed without it being for children and people were overreacting. That doesn't really change this plan. It'll take me about 6 months before everything settles and before we actually know how things are going to be implemented. And that's being somewhat optimistic. By that time, I will be deep into what I'm doing. I'm not going to stop the Medley Bible to start a new one. But I'm also not going to read the others just in case, because again, I only have so much time to dedicate to any given project. So even if COPA were fully repealed and you could do whatever you want, the Medley Bible will go through as is. Because that's what I'll be beginning doing come December 1st. Or thereabouts, if I can't decide exactly what to do by the 1st itself, because these plans need to be changed. But it's not that hard to catch up if you have a month, and if you're only 3 or 4 days behind. I intend on doing 1 Bible chapter a day, and if I'm 5 days behind, I can just do 2 for 5 days. It's not that big of a deal. Especially since I'm reading them a month in advance. You lot won't get them until January anyway. Anyway, I don't have much else to say right now. I will post another video, hopefully soon, explaining the final formation of my plans. As I have nothing else to say, I'll just sign off. Thank you, God bless, and goodbye.